Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
The Death Dragon Knight Legion, with 100,000 as one legion, is led by a legion ruler. Their bodies are even larger than the skeleton generals, exuding a powerful and terrifying aura. The lower half of the skeletal dragon is shrouded in undead flames, while the upper half of the knight holds a sword and shield, with grey undead flames flowing like light on their bodies and swords. Threads of rule power emanate, forming an invisible pressure that immobilizes Shui Jilon and Qing Fei. They had never seen rule power before, but they had seen high-level divine venerates. Qing Fei swallowed hard. They are all high-level divine venerates. Lin Moyu smiled slightly and did not deny it. Shui Jilon was equally shocked but also puzzled. I seem to have seen them somewhere before. Suddenly she exclaimed, I remember, a few years ago when we were investigating the Devouring Spirit clan, it was following a divine venerate. So it is Brother Lin's summoned creature. At this moment, Lin Moyu summoned 100 Death Dragon Knight legions, totaling 10 million Dragon Knights, plus 100 legion rulers. The skeleton generals summoned 100 million. Except for the skeleton king, the entire undead legion had already deployed 1/5. It wasn't that Lin Moyu looked down on those Starfire clan members, but he felt that this was enough. The skeleton generals were infinitely close to Divine Venerate level 7, the Death Dragon Knights were true Divine Venerate level 7, and the legion rulers were Divine Venerate level 8. With tens of millions of combat power, even peak Divine Venerates would flee in panic. If the other side sighed, they would probably retreat 3 times, and it would be very difficult to kill them all. The suspected Starfire clan's Starry Sky Giant cover came through the flames, sweeping from all directions, surrounding Lin Moyu and others. But what greeted them was the extremely sharp attack of the Undead Legion. The white sword light illuminated the starry sky, becoming another color in the starry sky. Undead flames left marks of death in the starry sky. The river of undead laws appeared under Lin Moyu's feet, transforming all laws into the power of death. Every attack of the Undead Legion was filled with the power of undead laws. Countless Starfire clan members were swallowed by the sword light and annihilated. Lin Moyu pointed his finger, and the skeletal hell appeared out of thin air, spreading to its maximum range, covering a large area of the star field. The hellish spirits roared out, biting the Starfire clan members. The hellish spirits hadn't had a meal for a long time, and now they were extremely ferocious. The Death Dragon Knight Legion was the most leisurely, they didn't even need to make a move. Just the skeleton generals blocked the first wave of the Starry Sky Beast's impact. Shui Jilon and Qing Fei were dumbfounded. They had imagined the battle would be intense, but they had never thought it would be so one-sided. This was simply a massacre. The strength of the skeleton generals was completely beyond imagination. Lin Moyu laughed, isn't it different from the battle you imagined? Qing Fei nodded, the elders in my family once said that on the battlefield, the strong suppress all beings, and the true strong are the key to victory. But Lin Moyu continued her words, your elders are right, the true strong can indeed suppress all beings, but not here. When the strength is not truly widened, the number will determine the victory. In terms of numbers, Lin Moyu said he had never been afraid. These suspected Starfire clan members were indeed numerous, and ordinary Divine Venerates would only have one way to escape. But facing Lin Moyu, they had no advantage. Section 2323 23,692,324. The Starry Sky Beasts couldn't get through at all, just the skeletal hell alone became a natural moat. Batch after batch of Starry Sky Beasts died, and finally, stronger Starry Sky Beasts arrived. The Starry Sky Beasts, with a body size of 7 meters and strength reaching Divine Venerate level 7, arrived. The skeletal hell finally felt a bit of pressure, but it was just a bit. The Starry Sky Beasts were indeed strong, but the hellish spirits were also Divine Venerate level 7, and their strength was evenly matched. But there were tens of millions of hellish spirits, and the Starry Sky Beasts at Divine Venerate level 7 were not that many. Not to mention tens of millions, even if they were added together, they wouldn't reach 100,000. Lin Moyu watched and thought to himself, if these are really the Starfire clan, they were indeed very strong in the past. Not to mention the strongest, just the number of high-level Divine Venerates is not weaker than any strong clan. Then stronger Starry Sky Beasts arrived, still in large numbers. Divine Venerate level 8 exceeded 10,000, and there were thousands of level 9. Facing the high-level Divine Venerate starry sky beasts, the attacks of the skeleton generals gradually became powerless, unable to easily kill the opponents as before. The difference between Divine Venerate level 6 and level 7 was significant due to the appearance of rule power. After that, each level increase would bring a significant boost in combat power. The skeletal hell also gradually became overwhelmed when facing numerous Divine Venerate level 8 starry sky beasts. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and the Death Dragon Knight Legion immediately charged out. Their addition relieved the pressure on the skeletal hell. Especially the Legion rulers joining the battle, although their numbers were not many, their combat power was significantly stronger than the starry sky beasts of the same level. They wielded their battle knives, easily dealing with a starry sky beast in a few moves. Lin Moyu knew that the Legion rulers had reached the peak of Divine Venerate level 8, almost invincible at the same level. And the combat power of those starry sky beasts was much weaker. Dragon breath burned wildly in the starry sky, undead flames were everywhere, filled with the power of death, corroding everything. No matter how the starry sky beasts charged, they couldn't break through the undead legion's line, let alone harm Lin Moyu and the others. Flames erupted, and dozens of starry sky beasts with a body size of 10 meters came through the flames. More than 50 Divine Venerate level 9, not bad. But, it's useless. Lin Moyu said casually, not taking these starry sky beasts seriously. He lightly pointed his finger, and undead flames exploded in the starry sky, turning into 5 blazing flames. 5 skeletal thrones appeared simultaneously, and 5 identical skeleton kings slowly rose. The skeleton kings, 10,000 meters tall, exuded a terrifying aura, distorting the starry sky around them, as if it would collapse at any moment. Cheng Fei and Shui Jilan's faces turned pale, bloodless. They were suppressed by the aura of the skeleton kings, their minds blank. This was a complete suppression of strength, with no resistance. At this moment, the skeleton kings were like Zhu Qiwu in the past, true peak Divine Venerates. They were only one step away from the other side. However, Lin Moyu knew that even if he advanced one more level, the skeleton kings still couldn't reach the other side. The gap between Divine Venerates and the other side was too great, a qualitative change that couldn't be easily crossed. Divine Venerate level 9 and Divine Venerate level 9 are also different. Lin Moyu said with some disdain, and the skeleton kings moved instantly. The thrones turned into giant bone swords, cloaks fluttering, raising a sky full of flames. God slaying. The 5 skeleton kings simultaneously swung their swords, each targeting 5 Divine Venerate level 9 starry sky beasts. The sword light exploded, illuminating the starry sky, and 25 starry sky beasts were simultaneously shattered, leaving no bones. The skeletal hell immediately followed, beginning to devour the corpses. The skeleton kings proved Lin Moyu's words with their actions. Even at the same Divine Venerate level 9, there was a world of difference. Cheng Fei endured the discomfort. Didn't you say you only had one of these skeleton kings? Lin Moyu smiled. I usually only summon one, but that doesn't mean I can only summon one. Shui Jilan couldn't help but ask, how many can you summon in total? Lin Moyu joked, that depends on my mood. His gaze fell into the distance, looking at those stars. From the beginning, Lin Moyu hadn't taken the starry sky beasts seriously. He felt that the real enemy should be those stars. Although there were only 5 skeleton kings, their combat power completely overwhelmed the opposition. With one sword strike, they eliminated half of their opponents, then charged into the fray like tigers among sheep. Nothing could withstand their bone swords. Each sword strike from the skeleton kings contained immense power of rules, causing cracks to appear in space with every slash. In the blink of an eye, the entire starry sky was cleared. Countless corpses of cosmic beasts floated scattered about, but the hell fiends from the bone hell were devouring them at full force. Before long, not even the corpses would remain. Lin Moyu gazed at the densely packed stars. Will there be any other movements? Seconds ticked by, but there was no activity. The stars that were previously spewing flames in anger had now quieted down. The entire starry sky fell into silence, while an atmosphere of sorrow began to spread. The stars seemed to be grieving for the death of those cosmic beasts, yet they dared not express anger. They sensed Lin Moyu's terrifying power. Lin Moyu spoke with a hint of disdain, his voice echoing through space, all bark and no bite. Is this all you're capable of? Cheng Fei and Shui Jilan were somewhat confused, not understanding who Lin Moyu was talking to. In their eyes, the starry sky was empty. But they didn't speak up. The two were clever enough to know there were things beyond their comprehension. Lin Moyu waited another half-minute before coldly laughing. Since you won't make a move, I won't be polite. The skeleton generals suddenly flew out, heading towards the nearest stars. Lin Moyu's thinking was simple: if any of the people who entered were still alive, they should be inside the stars. Otherwise, he wouldn't be unable to find even one of them. If they were outside, even if dead, they should at least leave behind corpses like Feng Qingchuan. When the skeleton generals were still 10,000 kilometers from the stars finally moved. They whipped up a sea of flames, engulfing the skeleton generals. Clad in golden armor, the skeleton generals recklessly charged into the flames. The attacking power of the flames was not strong enough to harm the skeleton generals protected by their golden armor. The skeleton generals sped through the flames and, just like Lin Moyu before, suddenly broke through a barrier and entered the interior of the stars. Found them, Lin Moyu said softly. Through the vision of the skeleton generals, he saw the situation inside the stars. There were no flames there. 3 people lay inside. 2 of them were already dead, their bodies incomplete. The other was severely injured and unconscious, with only 1 arm and 1 leg remaining, the body incomplete. Though not dead, only a breath of life remained. The soul fire was extremely weak, its soul as incomplete as the physical body. Even if saved, they would be crippled, possibly never waking up. Several more skeleton generals charged into the inner space of the stars, seeing similar scenes. Most people were dead, with only a few still alive. Even those alive were half crippled. Among them, Lin Moyu recognized several from the War God Temple who had participated in the annihilation of the Buddhist faction. They could be considered comrades in arms. Lin Moyu's expression became serious, his gaze increasingly cold, murderous intent spreading freely through space. Seeking death. Lin Moyu's killing intent erupted. With a thought, the skeleton generals immediately carried these people out of the stars. Sword energy cleared the way, forcibly carving out a passage from within the stars. The undead army moved swiftly at the same time, attacking the myriad stars. The stars seemed to sense Lin Moyu's killing intent and began to boil violently once again. They rotated rapidly, flames surging skyward, transforming themselves into giant, swiftly rotating fireballs. Flames scattered everywhere, instantly turning space into a sea of fire. The skeleton generals who were originally breaking out were hindered. The stellar flames rose sharply, containing immense power of laws, constantly impacting the skeleton generals. The golden armor talismans glowed brightly. Though surrounded by the sea of fire, the skeleton generals remained unharmed. They swung their swords, slashing out waves of sword energy, carving a path through the sea of fire. The army of death dragon knights arrived, spewing dragon breath. The power of death corroded the flames. All things have their strengths and weaknesses. The power of death corroded the laws within the flames, greatly reducing their power. Lin Moyu remarked that compared to the stellar flames in the Xuanxing secret realm, these flames were child's play. The skeleton generals attacked from the outside, raining down countless attacks on the stars. The stars retaliated with flames, but against the skeleton generals protected by golden armor talismans, the flames posed no threat. Behind the skeleton generals came the death dragon knights. They charged into the stars, ignoring the flames. The giant dragons bit and tore while the knights swung their swords. The stars immediately suffered massive damage, quickly becoming distorted and chaotic. Lin Moyu and his 2 companions arrived. Lin Moyu pointed, and the bone hell appeared. The bone hell instantly swallowed a star. Millions of hell spirits, ignoring the stellar flames, began to tear the star to pieces. Lin Moyu pointed his finger towards the distance. White star level spell, time curse. A red light flashed by, and in an instant several stars began to violently shake. They suffered curse damage and were in great pain. Faint screams could be heard in space. So you have souls too. These stars not only had consciousness but also souls. A thought crossed Lin Moyu's mind. The undying flame ignited once more, and an eye millions of meters large appeared in space. The eye gazed mercilessly at space, causing all the stars to tremble. The eye of the undead brought indiscriminate soul attacks, making the stars extremely uncomfortable. Lin Moyu's killing intent had been roused. He didn't care whether these beings were the Starfire clan or not. He only knew that they had killed humans, and they should pay the price. Dying here was the best outcome for them. The 5 skeleton kings each sought out stars. Under the god-slaying sword, star after star was extinguished. Some stars began to self-destruct, taking the human cultivators inside with them. Some stars couldn't self-destruct in time and were directly extinguished, giving the cultivators inside a slim chance of survival. The skeleton generals continuously charged in recklessly, relying on the protection of their golden armor talismans to bring out the humans one by one. They sought the living and the dead alike. Most of the human cultivators brought out were corpses, their bodies already incomplete, only small pieces remaining. Even the occasional survivors were barely clinging to life. Lin Moyu waved out bursts of life force to heal them. As for whether they could be saved, Lin Moyu wasn't very confident. Some people's injuries were too severe, their souls seriously damaged. It would be a miracle if they could survive. Damn it, Lin Moyu even had a momentary cruel thought: if they couldn't be saved, it might be better if they had died. Living half dead like this, bedridden for the rest of their lives, was no different from being dead. But he only thought about it. No matter what happened in ancient times, now new grudges had been established. If there were old hatreds, they would be settled together. If not, it no longer mattered. Star after star was extinguished, with dazzling fireworks constantly exploding in space. After the stars died, they turned back into balls of flame, continuously burning in space. The flames had no roots or origin, but they just kept burning. No matter how the skeleton generals attacked, they couldn't completely destroy them. The stars are inextinguishable, the starfire eternal. Lin Moyu murmured softly. Now he was 80% certain that these stars were indeed the Starfire clan. As a star exploded, Lin Moyu's gaze was drawn to it. From the explosion, a death dragon knight flew out of the flames carrying a stone tablet. Stone tablet. The rune material from ancient times is incredibly sturdy and difficult to destroy. Lin Moyu had seen similar materials many times and even possessed a piece himself. The simplest rune materials, like bricks, could be destroyed by those who reached the other shore realm. However, powerful rune materials, like the stone tablet before him, were extremely strong. Even a saint sovereign would find it hard to destroy them. These rune materials were widely used in ancient times for building houses, making fortresses, and recording texts. The stone tablet's material is special, immune to the erosion of time, and can be preserved for a long time. There are stone tablets in both the Tulu realm and the Soul Spirit realm. This place is no exception. The Death Dragon Knight brought back the stone tablet, and Lin Moyu began to examine the information recorded on it. Shui Jilon and Qing Fei also checked it out, but they both looked puzzled. The text on the stone tablet was something they had never seen before. The ancient primordial script was different from the current text, and they did not recognize it. Lin Moyu naturally knew this and casually said, "This is the ancient primordial script. It's normal that you can't understand it. Once you reach a certain realm, you will naturally understand." As long as they could reach the peak of the God-Sovereign realm and show enough talent to be judged by the Human Emperor Network as having the potential to step into the other shore, the Human Emperor Network would then impart the information of the ancient primordial script to them. Currently, Saint Sovereigns, those in the other shore realm, and some peak God Sovereigns could understand the ancient primordial script. Listening to Lin Moyu's explanation, Shui Jilon and Qing Fei both nodded, indicating they understood. They were well aware of the world's operating rules. One should know things corresponding to their realm. If one's realm was not high enough, knowing too much could bring about fatal consequences. The stone tablet indeed recorded matters related to this world. Black Blood invasion, various clans rebellion. I was ordered to eradicate the Starfire clan, driving them to collapse and extinction. However, as long as stars exist in the great world, the Starfire clan will be difficult to eradicate. The Master bestowed a seal, sealing the Starfire realm. At the same time, the Master cast a curse, cursing the Starfire clan to be mute and lack wisdom forever. The illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign further stripped the Starfire clan of their fortune, making it difficult for them to recover for 1,000,000 years. The Destiny Heavenly Sovereign once saw descendants entering this realm from the River of Destiny and left information about the Starfire clan on this tablet for future generations. After reading the stone tablet, Lin Moyu pondered, the Starfire realm, as I guessed, is indeed the world of the Starfire clan. Section 2325-2369. He split a wisp of his soul into the stone tablet, and information flowed over. The information was not much, just explaining some characteristics of the Starfire clan and how to deal with them. The Starfire clan's appearance is that of stars. They are called Starfire because their essence is the will born from stars. At their peak, the Starfire clan had hundreds of billions of members. In their world, there are stars and planets. Planets can ascend to become stars, and stars can develop consciousness, becoming true members of the Starfire clan. Stars can further ascend, transforming into white stars. The white star Lin Moyu saw was one such example. The strongest white stars have combat power equivalent to a supreme. The strongest stars can rival Saint Sovereigns. Although they all appear as stars, their combat power ranges from God Sovereign to Saint Sovereign, with immense differences between them. In ancient times, the Starfire clan was nearly exterminated, but they survived due to their racial characteristics. Over 2 million years, the Starfire clan gradually recovered here, with a large number of members reappearing, and even a white star being born. The human experts of the past had foresight, glimpsing this scene from the River of Destiny. The mysterious master cast a curse and planted a seal. The Starfire clan's wisdom became extremely weak, and the white star was far inferior to those of ancient times. Lin Moyu also understood that the so-called cosmic beasts were actually the Starfire clan's companions, known as Starfire worms. Each member of the Starfire clan could have many Starfire worms as companions. The stronger they were, the more Starfire worms they had, and the stronger their combat power. At their peak, the Starfire clan had hundreds of billions of members, and the number of Starfire worms was countless. With the help of the Starfire worms, the Starfire clan once caused great trouble for the human race. It's not just new grudges, but also old hatreds. The Starfire clan was sealed, and now they have reappeared due to the space rift. It seems the Great World is becoming increasingly unstable. The illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign and the Saint Rune Heavenly Sovereign used residual souls to make some compensations, but it seems the effect is not significant. Lin Moyu thought a lot in an instant, realizing that the Great World faced significant problems. The Starfire clan might not be the only one, other worlds might also appear. Lin Moyu did not know how many worlds the Great World had plundered in the past. However, just the beast skins he had obtained numbered no less than 300. There might be more unrecorded ones, only more, not less. Those worlds might also be sealed like the Starfire realm, and with the instability of the Great World, they might emerge one day. If a world with supreme-level experts appeared, the entire Great World might be thrown into chaos. Lin Moyu felt a headache, increasingly finding it troublesome. At this moment, Cheng Fei's voice came, "Brother Lin, wake up." Lin Moyu came back to his senses and saw a large number of stars gathering in the distance, rushing towards him. Under the curse, the Starfire clan's wisdom was not strong, they acted more on instinct. Besides that, they probably had a strong hatred for the human race. So, when humans entered, they showed no mercy and instinctively attacked. With grudges on both sides, they had to settle the score. Lin Moyu's will moved, and the undead army quickly assembled to confront the enemy. The Skeleton Kings charged at the forefront, followed by the Death Dragon Knights, with the Skeleton Generals at the rear. The undead army formed an impressive group, charging towards the Starfire clan. The Starfire clan gathered together, connected by flames, forming a massive web of fire, unleashing tremendous power, and charging towards the undead army. No words were needed. Both sides had new and old grudges. They fought for victory and life. The undead army's golden armor talismans shone brightly, forming a huge light group, resisting the flames. Sword light swept across the starry sky, and dragon breath burned fiercely in space. Stars exploded on the spot, shaking the heavens and earth. The starry sky trembled, laws collapsed, and the golden armor talismans continuously shattered in the flames, with the undead army suffering fierce attacks. Cheng Fei was a bit worried. "Brother Lin, what about the people who came in with us?" Lin Moyu had rescued dozens of people earlier. However, most of them were dead, with only a dozen or so still alive, all injured. As for the others, Lin Moyu sighed, they should all be dead. So much time had passed, and if they were god sovereigns, they might have held on until now. But those who came in were mostly god kings, unable to hold on. Cheng Fei and Shui Jilon were lucky. The star that swallowed them was not strong, and the star fireworms were weak. Otherwise, they wouldn't have lasted until Lin Moyu came to rescue them. Hearing Lin Moyu's answer, Cheng Fei and Shui Jilon sighed helplessly. It was an unavoidable situation. Accidents in cultivation always came unexpectedly. The battle continued, and the Starfire clan, united, unleashed great power. The undead army finally suffered casualties, but under the effect of undead magic, they quickly revived and rejoined the battle. In the distance, the white star suddenly flew towards the battlefield, its rays sweeping across like a sword of destruction, sweeping the battlefield. The Starfire clan's white star level, in its ancient prime, was comparable to a supreme. But now, its combat power is countless times weaker. Lin Moyu guessed that its current strength is at most at the Other Shore realm, and even then, just an ordinary Other Shore, not as strong as a Saint Sovereign. After checking his own trump cards, Lin Moyu felt assured. He didn't need to worry. As long as he used his trump cards, this guy would undoubtedly die. After 1,000,000 years of recovery, only one white star level has reappeared. What a pity, the ancient curse still exists, and your combat power is far weaker than in ancient times. Lin Moyu's eyes flashed with brilliance. He preferred not to use his trump cards if possible. At the same time, he was also pondering how to truly eliminate the Starfire clan. He didn't believe there was anything in the world that couldn't be completely eradicated, it was just a matter of finding the right method. The ancient wars were too intense, and perhaps there was no time to find ways to eliminate them one by one. But now, Lin Moyu decided to completely strangle the Starfire clan, not giving them another chance to rise. The saying, "as long as stars exist, the Starfire will never be extinguished," was something Lin Moyu would never believe. The battle continued, with stars constantly being blown up. The exploded stars turned into flames that couldn't be extinguished, waiting to become stars again in the future. The undead army also suffered losses, but they revived quickly, and their numbers did not decrease at all. The white star crossed the vast starry sky, sweeping the battlefield with invisible rays. Lin Moyu released his warship and said to Qing Fei and Shui Jilon, "You two get in." The two obediently got inside immediately. Then the skeleton generals threw the still living people into the warship as well. As for the corpses, Lin Moyu collected them. The warship started and quickly entered deep space, flying away. The white star level is also at the other shore realm, and its combat range is too large. If the rays swept over, Lin Moyu might not be able to protect Qing Fei and Shui Jilon. With their strength, even a slight touch from the rays would result in their complete annihilation. With the warship taking a few people away, Lin Moyu could finally fight without restraint. The undead army faced the rays head-on, frantically attacking the star cluster. The white star was not their target, the star cluster was. Rather than injuring 10 fingers, it was better to cut off one. First, eliminate the star cluster, then slowly deal with the white star-level Starfire clan member. The white star got closer and closer until it truly entered the battlefield. Wherever its rays swept, whether it was the army rulers or the Death Dragon Knights, they fell like wheat. The skeleton generals couldn't block its rays at all. The undead army suffered heavy casualties, but they revived the next second. After reviving, they ignored the white star and continued to attack the star cluster. The undead army seemed to be fighting chaotically, but they were constantly changing directions internally. The dead members quickly moved to safe areas. Those at the forefront were always members who hadn't experienced death. The undead could revive multiple times, using this characteristic to alternate and cycle, making the undead army impossible to kill completely. The number of stars was decreasing at an alarming rate. In the starry sky, there were clusters of flames, the dying bodies of the Starfire clan. But the undead army remained as numerous as ever. The white star-level Starfire clan member seemed to realize something and changed its target, rushing towards Lin Moyu. It seemed to think that killing Lin Moyu would end the battle. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, "It seems you have some wisdom after all." For some reason, Lin Moyu sensed emotions like urgency, anger, and hatred from the white star. Wisdom had greatly weakened under the curse, even losing the ability to speak, but some instincts remained. Seeing its kin die in explosions naturally made it feel uncomfortable. Rays swept towards Lin Moyu, but he sensed them early and dodged slightly. "I've been waiting for you." A peculiar aura emerged from Lin Moyu, and his realm rapidly ascended. Original spell, Power Gathering. His realm quickly broke through to the 6th stage of the God Sovereign realm, then broke the barrier to the 7th stage. Threads of rule power were born, pushing Lin Moyu's realm further up. Until he reached the 9th stage of the God Sovereign realm, Lin Moyu's soul finally felt a sense of swelling. "I can go a bit higher." Lin Moyu gritted his teeth, and his realm rose a bit more. He reached the peak of the God Sovereign realm, almost identical to Zhu Qiwu, now the Skeleton King. However, Lin Moyu's actual combat power was much stronger. After all, he had the water of myriad colors and the power of belief. After reaching the realm, the second original spell was also activated. Original spell, Strong Soldiers. His and the undead army's attack power instantly increased tenfold. Several stars exploded on the spot, turning into a sea of flames. Lin Moyu pointed at the white star. White star level spell, Time Curse. The white star trembled violently, letting out a faint scream, and its rotation slowed down. Then Lin Moyu took out an ancient talisman jade plate, and 10 drops of the water of myriad colors flew out and merged into the jade plate. At the same time, 100,000 units of the power of belief burned and also merged into the jade plate. With a movement of his soul power, he activated the jade plate. The jade plate flashed, condensing into a giant fist. The fist emitted a dense rule power, breaking through the God Sovereign level and reaching the other shore realm. Lin Moyu had used the jade plate many times and was very familiar with it. An ordinary activation of the ancient talisman in the jade plate was equivalent to a peak god sovereign's punch. If the water of myriad colors and the power of belief were used simultaneously, it could break through the god sovereign level and reach the other shore realm. 10 drops of the water of myriad colors and 100,000 units of the power of belief were the best ratio. Any more would be wasteful. The other shore realm was the true limit of the ancient talisman jade plate, difficult to enhance further. A giant fist shadow formed in the starry sky, blasting towards the white star. The white star's rays swept over the giant fist, causing it to tremble and weaken. But the giant fist did not collapse and still struck the white star heavily. Lin Moyu faintly heard a scream. The damage bonuses from strong soldiers and the time curse all took effect, greatly increasing the damage caused by the ancient talisman's punch. A visible dent appeared on the white star, and the entire star was no longer smooth. Its rotation became chaotic, and so did its rays. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and the 5 skeleton kings disappeared simultaneously, then were resummoned. The 5 10,000-meter tall skeleton kings stood in a row in front of Lin Moyu, like towering mountains. 600 drops of the water of myriad colors entered the skeleton kings and Lin Moyu's bodies. The skeleton king's auras surged, and the rule power became denser, almost breaking through the god sovereign level to reach the other shore realm. Unfortunately, they were just a hair's breadth away from truly breaking through. 6 million units of the power of belief burned simultaneously, divided into 6 parts for the skeleton kings and Lin Moyu. A golden sword appeared in his hand. Although the sword had a notch, it was still good for slaying enemies. God-slaying sword. The skeleton kings and Lin Moyu swung their swords simultaneously, and 6 sword lights shone on the white star. With the help of the water of myriad colors and the power of belief, this sword was infinitely close to the other shore realm. The white star became even whiter, seemingly brighter. But this whiteness was not its own. It was the sword light brought by the god-slaying sword. 6 sharp sword lights lit up on the white star, causing it to twist more violently, its shape constantly changing. The rays became chaotic, shooting aimlessly in the starry sky. Lin Moyu knew very well that even a being at the other shore realm would be injured by this strike, and the white star was no exception. After one sword strike, the skeleton kings charged forward. They swung their bone swords, continuously slashing at the white star as if trying to extinguish it. The rays hit the skeleton kings, and the parts that were hit were annihilated on the spot. The skeleton kings didn't care and continued to swing their swords wildly. Every second, hundreds to thousands of sword strikes were made, creating afterimages, and the white star became increasingly twisted. Only one last strike left. Activating 2 original spells simultaneously put great pressure on Lin Moyu. After launching 2 consecutive attacks without replenishment, he couldn't sustain it for long. Before reaching the god sovereign realm, he might have only been able to make 1 strike. Now, being able to strike 3 times in a row was already quite good. For the 3rd strike, Lin Moyu entrusted it to the soul-slaying sword. The Starfire clan did have souls, hidden within the stellar flames. Under the cover of the flames, their souls evaded the eye of the undead. However, the white star had already been marked and locked by Lin Moyu, allowing him to use the soul-slaying sword. In the soul world, the soul-slaying sword disappeared and reappeared in the real world. At Lin Moyu's feet, the river of undying laws appeared, representing his most powerful law. The dense power of death was injected into the soul-slaying sword, along with 100 drops of the water of myriad colors and 1,000,000 units of the power of belief. The soul-slaying sword shone brightly, emitting a dazzling light, as if it was about to regain its former glory. One could imagine how terrifying the soul-slaying sword was in ancient times. Its sect once used the soul-slaying sword to silently kill countless enemies. Millions of kilometers away, Qing Fei and Shui Jilon both exclaimed in surprise. Qing Fei said in shock, "Why do I feel like my soul was pricked by a needle?" Shui Jilon replied, "I feel the same way. It's really strange." Qing Fei looked in Lin Moyu's direction, but the distance was too far for her to see clearly. She could only see a white star continuously emitting terrifying rays. Lin Moyu poured all his remaining soul power into the soul-slaying sword, pushing its power to the limit. Go! With a light shout, the soul-slaying sword disappeared. At that moment, Lin Moyu's aura plummeted, quickly returning to the 2nd stage of the God-Sovereign realm, reverting to his original form. The World Tree continuously replenished Lin Moyu's soul power. The white star, which was enduring the frenzied attacks of the Skeleton Kings, suddenly paused and fell into a standstill. Lin Moyu's expression changed, and without thinking, he turned and left. At the same time, the warship millions of kilometers away started urgently, diving into deep space at the fastest speed to get away. The white star exploded, shattering layers of space. From the surface space to the deepest layers, no layer was spared. The explosion's power and range were astonishing, with terrifying energy breaking the speed of light and spreading through space at an incredible speed. In an instant, millions of kilometers of the starry sky were shattered. On the main battlefield, the undead army collapsed collectively, with no survivors. They were swept away by the terrifying power, far beyond their limits. The remaining star clusters were also destroyed on the spot, with all the stars collapsing collectively. The power of the stellar explosions was thousands to tens of thousands of times weaker than the white star's explosion, not even on the same level. Lin Moyu activated a 3-light talisman, quickly distancing himself, and in the blink of an eye, he was billions of kilometers away. Behind him, space collapsed, and the explosion's power swept over, blasting Lin Moyu away. Purple light flashed on his body, and his rebirth talent activated. The warship, sailing in deep space, was blown back by an irresistible force. The warship flew uncontrollably through the starry sky, causing Cheng Fei and the others inside to be thrown around uncontrollably. Seeing this, Lin Moyu's heart tightened. However, he sensed that Cheng Fei and Shui Jilin's auras were still intact, and he breathed a sigh of relief. The power of the white star's explosion swept through a large area of the starry sky, ending the battle with its self-destruction. The undead army was reborn under the effect of the undying spell, quickly returning to its original state. With the help of his rebirth talent, Lin Moyu also returned to his peak state. However, Lin Moyu still felt a lingering fear. No being at the other shore realm is easy to deal with, even one without wisdom. The power of the white star's explosion was beyond Lin Moyu's imagination. The warship flew uncontrollably for a while before finally stabilizing. Lin Moyu took 2 steps to the side of the warship, opened the door, and asked, "Are you all okay?" He knew they should be fine, but he still asked. Cheng Fei and Shui Jilin, still in shock, shook their heads, indicating they were fine. They were frightened but not injured, only bumped a few times. As small god sovereigns, a few bumps were nothing. The warship had shielded them from all attacks. Lin Moyu glanced at the warship and smiled bitterly. "We'll have to repair it again when we get back." The warship was severely damaged and needed major repairs. "You stay here, don't come over yet." Lin Moyu left a Death Dragon Knight army to protect them and quickly returned to the battlefield. The starry sky was filled with space cracks, and the power of the world was repairing them. The white star was gone, leaving behind a flame. The flame looked like ordinary stellar fire, but Lin Moyu saw a white light at its center. Becoming a white star shouldn't be a coincidence. It seems that in ancient times, it was also at the white star level, which is why it became a white star this time. There should have been more than one white star back then, but now there's only one left. Where did the other white stars go? Isn't it said that the Starfire clan can't be killed? Why are there no more white stars? And the so-called billions of Starfire clan members, now there are less than 100,000 left. Where did the rest go? The Starfire clan must have a way to be killed. They could be killed in ancient times, so why weren't they all killed? Why were some left? Showing mercy? How could there be mercy in a racial conflict? Was it the master's order? One question was not yet clear, and more questions arose. Lin Moyu had a vague feeling that the mysterious master seemed to have intentionally left them. In the starry sky, clusters of flames burned fiercely. These were the so-called indestructible bodies of the Starfire clan. After many years, they could become stars again and be reborn. Lin Moyu began experimenting on them, starting with physical attacks. The Skeleton Kings swung their bone swords but couldn't destroy them. The bone swords passed through the flames as if they were in different spaces, unable to hit them. Next was the power of laws. The power of the undying law surged, and the power of death enveloped the flames, trying to extinguish them. But the flames continued to burn fiercely under the power of death, unaffected. Lin Moyu frowned, deep in thought.